Experience tranquility. Pass into the iris.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Iris Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Yeti. Joining me tonight, we have Train_OW. That is the second most improved player in the Transcendence tier, by the way, for those keeping track. We have Beth Khan, who I believe was formerly in the running for best main or off tank and harmony tier at one point. I think you were like a top 3 or something. I don't know. You had awards and stuff. It was cool. Thug. We have Thuggington, director of the harmony tier, and also generally handsome dude who currently can't taste food.
I can't. It sucks. Get a shot, wear a mask, social distance.
Thug is a walking advertisement for the CDC right now, everybody, and it sucks. So, and then we have Exu, currently the front runner for Harmony Tier MVP. That's right. Get your all-star votes in, because you might be staring at a beautiful MVP over here, the flex support for the eliminated Palm Beach Poggers.
Oh,
that's not very PogChamp. That's not very PogChamp.
It's not very PogChamp.
You know what? I wrote this on the outline a little bit later to go on, but you know what? We're doing it live, guys, and I think in the spirit of how eliminated Palm Beach Poggers are, I think it's important that we acknowledge just how eliminated they are and how eliminated quite a few teams are, unfortunately. It's been a while since we talked about this, but here on the podcast, we like to say goodbye to teams in our very own special way. So with that, we bring you, well, we'll call it part 1 of tonight's In Memoriam. We will certainly miss all of you. Thank you so much for being a part of Tranquility this season. Anyways, enough of the people who lost. Let's talk about people who are winning right now. That's right. We are on to the championship bracket, guys. And the championship bracket brings you the top 6 remaining teams from each tier, head to head. Not really, kind of, sort of, but there is a bracket, and it's top 6, and they're going to play each other, and then the winner's going to win the championship. That's my description of it right now. I'm really tired, and I didn't prep very well for this, so we're going to go ahead and get it started by talking about these 6 teams in each tier. And it works like this. We are going to be re-ranking the 6 teams in each tier. That's right, power rankings in its own way is coming back. And we're going to start in the Harmony tier. Now, what we did is I had each of these guys and myself compile a ranking 1 to 6 of every team left in each tier. We took an average from each tier. It looks like Thuggington has finally, looks like COVID-19 also took the sense of sight from him, apparently. So, but nonetheless, we had them rank them 1 to 6, and then we took the average rankings for every team, and we compiled them into a final master power rankings here for the top 6 for each tier. And we're going to start off in the Harmony tier. Reminder, your remaining teams left, you had Sky Guardians, you had Luminous Foxes, Frost Nova, Chrysalis, Koala Kings, and Flashbacks. Ranked number 1 by every single person on the podcast. This is going to come as a big surprise to a lot of people, I think. A lot of people.
It's going to be a shocker, yeah.
But it's Flashbacks. Flashbacks rated number 1 after a close matchup last week against Chrysalis. Thug was supposed to talk here, but it appears... Are you sure? Can they hear you? Oh, they can't hear you. I gotta put back in your stream. Give me just 1 second. He's here. He's here, but you just can't see him. We're gonna get him back. Don't worry, guys. You gotta believe in me. If everybody just wishes it, just everybody put your hands to the sky and just wish for Thug to return. He'll be back. He's like I don't know, like Santa Claus or something.
Tinkerbell, yeah.
There you go.
He's back, everybody.
Hey guys.
Hey. All right, Thug, your thoughts on Flashbacks, number 1. Is that as obvious as we all thought it was?
Yes, I mean, they've been the best team all season long, and it's just a carryover from last year. So, yeah, that was a pretty easy choice.
Yeah.
Made my life real easy.
Exu, you rated Flashbacks number 1 as well. Tell me about the team. How big of a gap is it between Flashbacks and everybody else?
I mean, they have a 4.9K player on main tank on their team.
He's right.
It's not really fair for everybody else, if I'm honest. But yeah, they're just leagues above everybody. Like as a team that's gotten beat to them twice in a row now, like it's not fun.
All right. Number 2, again, as rated by everyone. One was not, and no disagreement on this, might also become a bit of a surprise. We have the Koala Kings rated number 2 by everybody. Once again, Beth, Koala Kings, it made sense, right?
Yeah, this was a no-brainer on this one. Koala Kings are a very strong team, and if Flashbacks weren't in the running, they would be number 1 by a solid mile. But as it is, they're top 2. There's always a chance that they could end up winning it out, but yeah, they're a solid second place team, and honestly a very good team who just had the misfortune of being in the same tournament as Flashbacks.
Train, we see some people contentious about this in chat right now, talking about how they think Chrysalis deserve this over Koala Kings. Do you have any feelings on Koala Kings here?
Yeah, best tank line in the tier, Kemi and Jeffbot. You've got Jeffbot and QZ, who have had just amazing success in Discord tier last season. So I don't really see how you could put an argument for KK anywhere other than the top 2. I mean, they lost the map to Frost Nova, so that kind of brings them out of the number 1 spot for me. But, you can't put them anywhere else other than 2. It just doesn't make sense.
I mean, for what it's worth, Frost Nova was taking a lot from people these past few weeks. So,
yeah,
I see this, a lot of people saying, like, how are you rating them above Chrysalis? Speaking of Chrysalis, they came in at number 3. Again, I believe this was also unanimous. at number 3 here for Chrysalis. Thug, your thoughts on Chrysalis?
And actually, to be fair, chat's kind of right. Chrysalis and KK. I think it's more 2A and 2B. They're both really, really close. But again, like as Train said, the tank lineup's just insane. So they get the edge. Chrysalis is still a very, very strong team and could do a lot of work. But this seems to be the right spot for them. And it's not because they're It's not that they're worse than Koala Kings. Koala Kings is just better than them.
Here's my statement on why Chrysalis is lower than Koala Kings right now. Koala Kings has played flashbacks once this season. That was in the preseason finals. Mm-hmm. The winner of that match was Koala Kings.
It's true, it was.
The only team to put flashbacks on the losing end of an actual match that took place is Koala Kings so far this season.
We're not counting Scrimbucks.
We're not counting Scrimbucks, and we're not counting forfeits.
Making sure I didn't know if that was in the equation.
So you can argue all you want about how Chrysalis is, but what it comes down to is there's one team who has a dub over or an actual, real,
Well, there is another team that has taken down flashbacks. I think you're forgetting, Yeti.
Who's that?
Frost Nova.
Okay, all right. Well, I said besides forfeits, okay? Exu, tell us about why you put Chrysalis third.
I just think that flashbacks are obviously the best team by like a mile, and then it was kind of a toss up for me between Koala Kings and Frost Nova. I didn't really not Frost Nova, Chrysalis. It was kind of a toss up between who I wanted to put where. So I just kind of threw numbers at a wall, and wherever they stuck is where I put the team. Listen, I don't know anything about my own tier, all right?
I run the damn tier, and I don't
know what you want from me.
We finally start getting some contention here as we get to the 4th rated team overall, and that was Sky Guardians. Train, you rated them 4th overall. Tell us why you gave Sky Guardians the 4th.
Yeah, looking past their match history, they had a close 3-2 win over Miami Yikes. Very good team. Again, a game that close against a team that's not quite in the top 6 here kind of brings you into that bottom half of the power rankings for me. But when you have a roster like Milo, O, and Bubba Wyatt and the coaching resources that the Sky Guardians org has at their disposal, it's really just, you can't really make an argument for them outside of the top 4 for me.
Beth, you're going to make an argument about them being outside the top 4 because you rated them number 6.
Yep, I'm going to make an argument about them being outside the top 4. For me, it was just looking at them in comparison with the other 2 teams that are left. I feel like this group of teams is actually really neck and neck. Anybody could beat anybody on any given day. But just looking at the strength of Frost Nova and Luminous Foxes, the fact that they lost to Frost Nova earlier, I just had to kind of bump them down the list a little bit, which is why I placed them at 6th.
All right. Let's go to the 5th rated team overall, which is going to make fans of this, or it's going to make fans in the chat maybe happy, maybe not. But I know I already saw they were saying wait for this team to be 6th, but they're rated 5th. That's Frost Nova. This was a unanimous 5th. Everybody had them 5th, which is, what it is. Thug, Frost Nova. What an interesting team they've ended up being this season. Kind of got into Pool A in a bit of a weird, kind of messed up scenario, but they made the most of it.
Yeah, they kind of backed into it, which is strange, and I think it's a good definition of a team playing up to the competition. I think they kind of surprised themselves, and they're like, hey, wait, we're kind of in this thing with a lot of these really good, well-known teams. And they rose to the occasion. I'll tip my hat to Frost Nova. It was a team that, as Yeti said, kind of surprised everybody. Really wasn't sure what we had coming into it. They get the 4-0 victory, but they're making the most of what's the hand they're dealt. So that's why they're at 5.
Exu, Frost Nova, you did not have an opportunity to play this team this season, correct?
No, I did not actually.
Yeah.
One of the teams I didn't get to play. Whenever I saw them beat Sky Guardians and the Yikes, I was like kind of terrified for Koala Kings coming into their match. I was like, wow, those are insane upsets. I would have never thought that Frost Nova is taking down Sky Guardians and Miami Yikes. Maybe one of them on an off day, but in a row, that's just wild to me. But I really want to see what they do in the championship bracket here, because they definitely have a chance to cause some upsets and maybe even win. I don't know.
They certainly
Who
have
cares?
they certainly have a chance. You can't rule out any team at this. Like, first and foremost, every team is here for a reason. If you're gonna go into this expecting any team to just roll over, like you're gonna probably pay for it. The best of 4 series, anything can happen. Ross Nova has a big opportunity this week. They're going against the team that was rated 6th overall by this panel, and that was Luminous Foxes. Train, back to you. You went 6th here with Luminous. Tell us why you rated them 6th.
Apathy's gonna like hate me for this one. He might egg my house after this, but
True.
I have been believing in Luminous Foxes since the beginning of the season, since week 1, week 2. And at this point, I'm just tired. I expected this team to come in and roll the competition front to back. I expected insanely strong seasons, and then end of regular season, they lose to Strix, they lose to Palm Beach. I'm just kind of tired. I don't have much energy to believe in Luminous anymore. If I'm wrong about a team, it'll be this one. I think they have high highs, and they're in the top 6 for a reason, right? This isn't to say they're a bad team. Just I see more reasons to believe in the other 5 than I do in Luminous at this point.
Beth, you rated this team 4th overall. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so for me, I had to look more at kind of trends. They did lose to Palm Beach Poggers, which put them in the losers bracket, which was tough. But then they turned around and later on were able to pull it together and beat Palm Beach Poggers. So I feel like this team has the ability to kind of come together and work hard, and they might be peaking at about the right time. So I figured I'd give them a little bit higher rating than it seems like most of my co-hosts did.
Hey, I was with you, Beth. I rated Luminous number 4, and honestly, if there's one team that's not the Flashbacks, Koala Kings, Chrysalis crew that has a shot at pulling off something big, in my opinion, it's Foxes. You can't argue with the roster. I'm gonna go full NPC on this. You got Booze, you got NRFT, you got Commercial, you got Colorform, you got Cucumber, you got the other DPS that I'm forgetting. Like, I'm just saying, this roster is crazy. And I mean, here's the thing with Luminous Foxes: when they are on, they can play again, and Lineite too. How can I forget Jerry Ozone? Jerry Ozone is basically Trank celebrity. How I forgot Jerry Ozone, QZ. Come on, dude. Anyways, no. In all seriousness, Luminous, I think, is one of the most underrated teams left in the tournament, and I think they can. They if there's any one team who is being overlooked right now in any tier, I think it's them. So, but we'll see. I mean, here's the problem with Luminous: they can also show up like they did in the first round against Palm Beach Poggers and just get absolutely rolled by NPC DPS. Like,
NPC was goated in that match. Let me just tell you, he was playing out of his mind.
NPC
it
did
was
go crazy.
good in playoffs.
all right, we're gonna move it over to the Transcendence tier. I'm sorry, the Discord tier now, guys. And in Discord tier, we had, again, 6 teams left: Paradise Lost, Domination, Echo Fleet, Mark III, Reminiscence, and the Quokka Queens. Interesting pile of 6 teams here, guys. Reminiscence has kind of been the favorite all season. Then they dropped to Koala Kings. I'm sorry, to Quokka Queens, pardon me, in stage 2. Tier got kind of opened up, and we saw some interesting teams make their way into the finals here. Let's start it off with the number 1 rated team. Again, rated number 1 by everybody, and that was Reminiscence. Train, you are uniquely qualified to discuss Nostalgia Org teams.
I am. It's true.
All right.
Especially the bad ones.
Especially the bad ones.
All one of them.
Yes, all amnesia.
All amnesia, exactly. But yeah, Rem number 1. Not really too much to say about this team, except for the fact that the Seraph main tank is the single most inspirational hero pick that I've seen in my life. They had a dominant win against Paradise Lost last week, who up until that point had a 20-match win streak in all competitions.
Yep.
And they had Seraph subbing for arguably the second best main tank in the tier.
True.
So it's just not fair. Like, Seraph put on such a performance, and to put this team anywhere other than number 1 when they're having games like that with people off-rolling is just a mistake.
Exu, your feelings on Reminiscence.
Listen, I know nothing about Discord tier, but the one thing I do know is that Reminiscence is goated. Apparently, that's what everyone says, anyways. I mean, following suit with flashbacks being the best team in Harmony, I would be remiss to say that Reminiscence is the best team in Discord tier. They've looked dominant all season.
Absolutely. I can't disagree with that. I mean, it's hard to say Reminiscence isn't the number one team. There's one team who you could probably make the argument for that could beat them, but they've also had a couple of missteps here and there. So, but Reminiscence just looks really, really strong, and other teams around them haven't really been looking as strong. So, with that said, we take it to the number 2 ranked team, and that was Quokka Queens. Thug, you rated them number 3 overall. Can you explain? You gave them a little bit of a lower ranking. What was your view on Quokka?
And I put them 3 in this. I'm kind of echoing back to my Harmony tier. It's not because I think it's again, this is a 2A 2B. I'm gonna do a little spoiler here because my number 2 team is Paradise Lost. So I think Quokka Queens are gonna do a lot here. I want to see them beat somebody. I think they're gone a little cold. Yeah, I'll explain more after my next turn.
Hey, I mean, they did drop to Echo Fleet in stage 2, so I think it's important to keep in mind. Like, Quokka has not been unbeatable. So,
correct.
That said, let's go now to somebody who did rank them number 2, and that was Beth. Beth, your feelings on Quokka number 2?
Yeah, so for Quokka Queens, again, putting our Superior team in the second spot. I just think that they're a strong team. They've been solid all season. Sure, they fell to Echo Fleet, but Echo Fleet's also a pretty good team. I put them at number 2 just for that reason. I think that they're really strong. They've had a pretty good run through the upper bracket, so I think they're doing great.
All right, let's go to the number 3 overall team. This had the widest disparities of rankings. And
Beth's wrong and I'm right.
And it was Paradise Lost. But we're going to kick it back to the same 2 people here because they also had the 2 widest rankings. So, Thug, you talked a little bit about Paradise Lost in the number 2 slot, but let's explain why you picked Paradise Lost as the number 2 team right now.
Paradise Lost is coming with a massive head of steam. First round beating Mark III, who's also in the top 6, then beating the number 2 seed, the Decapitators.
Steel Team Spuds.
I'm sorry, the Spuds, who are insane. It's an insane team. And now they're going up against Echo Fleet, which I think is going to be easy W. And then they're going right against Quokka Queen. So they're coming with a full head of steam. They're winning their way through the playoffs. They're not dropping a losers bracket and then having to bounce back up. They're winning through. So their confidence is only getting higher. That's why I put him at 2. But all right.
Now, Beth, back to you again. You put Paradise Lost in the number 5 slot.
What's wrong with you?
I assume this is purely personal. Can you explain why you hate Paradise Lost?
So I hate Paradise Lost personally. Honestly, it kind of came down to I saw Paradise Lost, Domination, and Mark III as being pretty even with each other for the most part. And I just had the bias of I have never played Paradise Lost and I played Mark III and Domination and seen what forces they can be. So it was definitely a lot of implicit bias on my part of I've never had to go up against Paradise Lost. They very well could be the 3rd seed team. I just think that the next 3 rankings are so close that it was anybody's game. So I let my bias shine through there.
Again, we had a ton of contention all over the brackets on this one. Really, Discord was honestly probably the most contentious in this same area. This 3 to 6 area was all over the place. We're going to go to number 4 ranked team right now by everybody, and that was Domination coming in at number 4. Train, you had Domination listed as the 3rd best team in the tier right now. Can you explain yourselves on that?
I did. I sure did. And I wish I had some good reasons.
That's an
I have one.
I
have 1 or 2 good reasons. No, but actually they did have kind of a struggle at the end of the season for sure. I think we just finished week 13. This past week was week 13. Since week 7, Domination's lost 3 games. So 50-50. But at the same time, those 3 games were to Echo Fleet, who's in our top 6, and then Quokka Queens twice. So, yes, they've lost a few games, but they haven't been losing any of these easy should-win games. They've been taking care of business where they should. I think this is a dangerous team who is surprisingly consistent. And I may be guilty of overvaluing consistency, but, I could see this team going pretty far, honestly.
Domination is an interesting one. I can't agree more on that. Thug, on the other hand, you rated them 5th. Explain yourself.
I'm not a domination fan. As Train said, they're consistent. I just think they're consistently average. They don't move the needle for me as a team. Now they beat Echo Fleet, but as you can hear, there you don't hear Echo Fleet coming up in the coming up yet.
I don't think Echo Fleet's been moving the needle much either, unfortunately.
Right. So you look at they beat Echo Fleet, and they beat Holy Jalapenos, which are by far the most underrated team that's ever touched the Discord tier ever. But I don't know, man. I'm not a Dom fan. I think they're gonna get rolled over by Mark III. Yeah.
Speaking of Mark III, they came in at number 5 overall in our rankings here, guys. Mark III, kind of a weird journey to get to where they are. Stage 1, solid run. They ended up winning their group. They went undefeated in were they undefeated? Yeah, they were undefeated in stage 1. They were undefeated because they beat Echo Fleet. I'm really bad at my job.
You know what? We don't care.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because in stage 2 they went winless. They could not find a win. They couldn't beg for a win. Things changed once they picked up a new main tank. They picked up Terractin, and teams started looking a little bit more legitimate. Let's talk about this team here. Exu, you rated them 4th overall, actually. Why are you high on Mark III?
I'm high on Mark III. Okay, so at the start of upper bracket, they have to play against Paradise Lost, which is a really tough team. Seeded number 3, I think, right?
Yep.
Am I reading this? Yeah. Seeded number 3. They get knocked out of lower bracket, and then they start making their journey back to championship, taking out the Ragnarok teams. They took out Mechanize, I think. That's okay. See, I have no idea what the Discord tier teams are. And then they beat SEAL Team Spuds, who were
beat them in stage 2.
Yeah, who beat them in stage 2. And I'm like, okay, I want to see it. I want to see Mark III take down Domination and then Rem. Let's see it. Let's see it.
Everybody else had them rated around that 5th line, but Beth went a little higher here. Beth, you went to 3rd for Mark III. Beth, why are we so high on Mark III?
So for me, I feel like Mark III is peaking at the right time. They, like you said, they made some roster changes, picked up Terractin. It takes a while for a team to gel together, which is probably why they had a little bit of struggle kind of at the beginning of the playoffs. But 2 kind of easier games out of the way, and then they're able to take down the Potato team, which was a fan favorite. People liked that team. They seemed like they were going to do well, and I don't think anybody would have called Mark III beating them. So they've showed that they're able to kind of pull it together and do what they need to do in order to win. I think this upcoming game against Domination is going to be a fun one to watch. They were in the same stage as in the first group stage, so it'll be kind of a rematch for them. But I'm looking forward to watching them play, and I agree with a lot of what Exu was saying.
Let's go now to our last team. This was a unanimous 6th place team here, and that is Echo Fleet. We talked about Echo Fleet. They were the number 1 seed going in, undefeated in stage 2. Playoffs. Had some interesting matchups. Train, your feelings on Echo Fleet right now?
Yeah, again, just another team I've been a little disappointed by. To me, on paper, this is such a good team, right? You think about their roster, you've got CQ2, wins the end of season award for best main tank, if I'm remembering that correctly. You've got Toxic, Yoon, Miko, Greninja, and Soli, right? The pieces are all there for a top 3 team. Yet somehow you're losing games 3-0 to Domination. You're barely beating Inferno Foxes 3-2. You're having really close games against Excalibur as well, and I want to believe in this team so badly because I love all the pieces that they have.
Plus, you
But
got
the
your
results
coach,
just haven't
your
come so
coach
far.
to being toxic as hell in both Discord and in match. Like, just it's not a good look, Echo Fleet.
True.
It's not a good look.
True. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I want to believe in this team. I don't really see much reason to. So I'm trying to vote a little more with my head than my feelings here.
They just seem disinterested. I'm just genuinely disinterested. I don't know. It's weird.
No, it's a great point. Exu, your feelings on Echo Fleet?
Train really hit most of what I was going to say. Losing to Domination and then taking 3-2 games against Inferno Foxes and Excalibur, like that's not a great look for a team that was seeded number 1, in your division. So I mean, like I don't know. I don't know what to say. Hopefully we see them come back to their dominant selves. That number 1 seed like really showing off, like really shining. But I guess we'll have to see when they play against Parasites Lost.
To me, Echo Fleet is just a shame because the talent is insane on that team. Like, if we were picking teams purely based on just raw skill and talent, I'd have a hard time not picking Echo Fleet to win maybe the whole damn thing. Like, they're that talented from top to bottom on this roster. It's just, I don't know if the mental's fried or if people are burnt out or what's gone on, but the team just they've looked like a struggle bus. And it's a shame because the talent is incredible. Like, we talked about Miko and Yoon a ton this season. CQ Chu, fantastic as well. Greninja and Soli was an amazing support line all season. When Greninja going to the off roll has been just absolutely stellar. Like,
yeah, really.
It's just kind of Echo Fleet, I think, is just kind of a shame. Like, it feels like they should have done more. But
maybe this is their wake up call. Maybe they're listening. They're like,
no. They'll probably clip this and make a meme out of it or something.
Yeah,
but I mean, hey, you know what?
Who takes memes out of this show? Jalapenos.
Yeah, whoever would make memes out of anything Thug says, Beth.
You leave Bork alone.
All right, guys.
He hasn't even played for us for the last 2 seasons.
Doesn't matter. It's still in my heart.
Last one is
I forget. So.
Yeah, it's true. Last tier is Transcendence tier, guys. The last teams that are left: Decapitators, Bird Society, Ibis, God Hand, Battalion, Alpha, and the Devil Dukes. Battalion, by the way, the only low seed C tier team who got into the championship bracket. So the big run from Battalion cannot be ignored. But we're gonna start off with the number 1 rated team, and this is gonna it's no shock here, absolutely no shock. It's Battalion. No, it's Reckless. It's Reckless Alpha, rated number 1 overall by everybody. Exu, does anything need to be said as to why?
Honestly, no. They've looked crazy this season. I think they've won every single map except one, and it was a draw against Corvidity, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, I mean, I was watching Cosign on Twitch. I was watching him play Tracer, and he was going crazy. It was like the craziest thing I've ever seen in my entire life watching him play. I don't know. I don't know how any other team's going to beat him at this point.
Thug, again, what else needs to be said, if anything?
They're in a class of their own.
Yeah.
They're in a class of their own. If someone beats them, it's going to be a David and Goliath moment. So.
To me, it's like Joey Esports last season in Discord tier. There's just no team that immediately compares to them in talent now.
No, it's just unmatched.
Right, it's unmatched. Does that mean they can't be beat? Oh no, not at all. Like, we saw them in a very similar situation last season.
Correct.
Drop to a team that nobody expected them to when they lost to Arcana Emperor. So
right.
Like, you can't say that they're unbeatable, but can you?
Right.
You have to say they're the best team right now. Like,
correct.
If you don't, you've lost your dang mind. The number 2 team, however, this team probably, I mean, for a lot of people, you got to figure, especially after the way stage 2 ended for them, kind of had to figure this team probably may not even make a run to the championship bracket, but this team has improved tremendously as the season's gone on, and rated number 2 by all of us here on the panel was the Devil Dukes. We're gonna go back to you, Exu. Devil Dukes. What has led to this team getting to where they are now, from a really down spot at the end of stage 2?
To be honest with you, I have no clue. I don't know anything about these teams. Once again, if I'm being completely honest,
that's the quality
I have no clue. I'm on
analysis
a
you get
podcast
from the
and I have
Iris
no clue.
podcast.
Yeah.
Professionals.
I have watched them play a little bit for my Trank Bucks, right? Entering some of those giveaways. And they seem to like give off good energy recently. I have no clue if this is true, but I wrote it, so I'm going to say it. If there is one team I think that can take down Reckless Alpha, it's the Devil Dukes. Maybe? Yeah. Back me up on this, guys, please.
That's a
I'm
good
here
sound
for it.
bite. We should use that.
That's a clip right
There's
there.
one team that can beat Alpha. It's Atlas Arcadia, and
If there's one team that can beat Alpha, it's Corvette. Oh. Okay, well,
man.
yeah.
No.
No, this didn't happen. Beth, your feelings on the Devil Dukes? Do you have anything to add besides I didn't watch them? They're pretty good.
They seem to be peaking at the right time. Again, came in as a 5th seed, but have been smoking their way through the bracket, beating Decapitators, who are really strong, and Godhand, who is streaky but strong. Also, I just couldn't resist the symmetry of putting every single marsupial org team in 2nd place.
Right? It's incredible.
What? I'm with you.
Mhm.
And they all have like 10-man rosters.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of players.
It's
Yeah.
easy.
Well, and I will say, if there's any one team who has improved their mental, it's Devil Dukes. Just like mentally, the team is just way stronger now. And I think Billy Gott being a main tank for that team has made
Completely.
it's completely turned that team around. It is a brand new team. They had some addition by subtraction, which I think really helped them. And then just moving Billy into that main tank spot, it made that team instantly better. And like, with talking to especially Decapitators who just played this team, like the way they phrase it is this team is night and day from stage 2. It is a completely different team. And I think it says a lot about a good team's mental when you bounce back and can come back that strong and win 3-0 against a team who just beat you the last stage. That you deserve a lot of credit for that. So, 3rd seed overall in our power rankings here goes to Godhand. We had a little bit of dissension among the ranks here, but not really a whole heap of it for Godhand. It was 3rd or 4th pretty much all the way around, but 3rd is where they stand in the rankings. Beth, you put Godhand 3rd. Tell us your feelings about Godhand.
So Godhand, I would say, is one of the streakiest teams in all of Transcendence tier. If they're good, if they're on a good day and they've been playing together maybe a little bit more, they are unbeatable. But if they're
Playing together at all.
like if they play together at all, they're unbeatable. But if they're just sort of taking it casually, they win some, they lose some. It's hard to argue against the amount of talent on that team, and I know that if they did decide to buckle down, they could bring it together and be like a strong contention for an even higher seed, which is why I ranked them so highly. But as it stands, I felt like 3rd was kind of a good middle ground for them.
Train, you put Godhand 4th, and we'll get to your 3rd ranked team shortly, but tell us about your ranking for Godhand here.
Yeah, I completely agree with everything Beth said. Right? I think when GDH is playing together and they're warm and they're motivated, then they are the best team in the entire tournament. Right? That you can't beat this team. Just the amount of talent, the amount of experience here is unrivaled.
It's nuts.
That being said, I'm going to take a second and talk about my own terrible team for a quarter second here. But the Amnesia game against GDH was astoundingly close, right? I mean, we came out, we played the best. We played not scared. We tried our best to play well. But thinking about the talent GDH has, that should have been an easy win, and it was not, right? So we took a map off, and that aside now, thinking about what that means for GDH and going forward, is that this team is very beatable now. This team has proven that they have some weaknesses, and I haven't seen that from other teams.
Glaring weaknesses. Glaring weaknesses.
3rd, 4th, I think it could go either way. I'm going to settle on 4th. Yeah. I don't know if it's Andy's old age or what's happening there, but
yeah, Andy needs his reading glasses for the next match. That's all I'm saying. Just some glaring, obvious weaknesses. I
Just
think
very
for Godhand.
obvious.
Just
weaknesses.
clearly.
That's
God,
that's an old reference.
What an old
for, that's
Specs one.
That's an old Specs reference right there.
Wow.
That goes
That's like
back.
a season 2 throwback.
Saddle up, Zoomers. We got stories for you.
Woo!
Anyways, but I have to say, you know, I echo everything that's been said about Godhand. It depends on what Godhand shows up. Either you get the Godhand that just can literally dominate any team 3-0, 4-0 without any waste of time whatsoever, or you get the Godhand that is just kind of wanting to be done. It depends. We'll see what we get, because if we get the Godhand that I expect to get, I think Birdside Ibis, who's playing them on Wednesday this week, is gonna have a bad day. But that said, if Godhand doesn't show up, they've lost to some. They've shown weaknesses to a lot weaker teams. So
See, I think Godhand's the biggest thing with people. It's kind of like Train said. You look at this team and it's filled with incredible talent that's been part of Tranquility forever, and so it's almost like playing against your dad. Like, or if you think about that analogy, it's like I can't, or your older brother or older. It's like I can't beat them. They're just older than me. I play worse when I play them. And then you're like, wait a second, I'm also a grown-ass human that is good at this video game. And like Train said, Train playing against them being in Harmony tier last year, and suddenly you're thrown into this. It's like, oh God.
Like,
So they are.
no.
They are fallible, but it depends if Godhand wants to be fallible or not.
there's no reason to fear any team right now.
No.
Not even Alpha.
They carry
Alpha's
this air to
fantastic,
them.
but these other teams are all here for a reason too. Like
Right.
Alpha's an amazing team, but if you're afraid of Alpha, you've already lost. So can't be afraid of GDH either.
No. They all throw, dude. Ice lost to a Gold Moira.
Here we go.
Remember.
Number 4.
Remember.
I feel like there was some
remember.
spawn camping involved too.
There
but
was some
maybe not.
spawn camping. Number 4 overall was the Decapitators. Thug, you've had them rated number 4. You want to tell us about your ranking for Decapitators?
Hey, listen, the thing about the Decapitators is I absolutely am a Smug stan. I have been a Smug stan for ages. I believe in him. He has the clutch potential of everybody. I think Delphi has done an incredible job with that entire team. They're solid. I think they got their mentals figured out. And with a coach like Ons, I think anything's possible with them. So I'm really biased with the Potato Org to begin with, because a lot of them are Minnesota people. And by a lot of them, I mean just the Harmony tier team. And so I love them with a lot of my heart. All of it. It's filled with tater tot hot dish, and I love it. So,
And your heart is filled with
Decapitators
tater
get-
tot hot dish. It's in the arteries.
listen, it's fine.
Fine.
Yeah, I believe in this team. I think they have a really, really good shot. And
I wasn't sure if you were done. I'm sorry. Beth, you picked Decapitators in the number 5 spot. Can you explain your wrong opinion? I'm just kidding.
I can explain my correct opinion because I think Battalion is better than them.
what do you
In
think
fact,
you are, a freaking doctor?
What do you know anyways?
I don't know what that has to do with this.
What do you think? You could diagnose a win-loss record? Or I don't know. Sorry.
Man, I don't know. I just think that I've been a Battalion stan all season. I've seen them go from being one of the worst teams in the entire tier to bringing it together, picking up some extra pieces, and somehow like moving it through. So I put Decapitators in 5th simply because I put Battalion in 4th. Decapitators are a good team. I think Smugs is a good player. I just think Battalion are hitting it at the right time.
Speaking of Battalion, we get to them next here. Battalion sitting in the 5th overall slot in our rankings. Battalion, again, the team with the lowest seed from any tier who has made their way into the elimination bracket. That is just ahead of the 6th seed Mark III in Discord tier. Battalion being an 8th seed. So it goes to show you, even if you are one of those lower teams in the seeding, you still got a shot. You can still make a run. Frostnova, same thing, also number 6. So, again, like, because you're 6th seed or lower doesn't mean you're out of this thing. If anything, this system has proven that. So, let's talk about Battalion now here. Train, you put Battalion as 3rd.
Yes, I
over
did.
God Hand and over Decapitators in both 4th and 5th. Can you explain Battalion in the 3rd position?
Yeah, I think people are guilty of comparing this team to the team they were at the beginning of the season. Much like Devil Dukes, this team is not the same team they were. Right? They've gotten rid of their throwers. They kicked Vix down to Discord tier so we can go throw for Quacko Queens instead.
Lamar.
They added Pro Gamer and Trippy, right? Some massive pieces with incredible amounts of experience and talent. They've slayed all the fan favorite teams in the tier, knocked out Coag, Cuttlefish, Dirt, Corvidity. Like at this point, I just believe in this team. Like they have all the pieces to make it happen. No one's really watching for them at this point either. They have a demonstrated track record of success. And I haven't really seen any weaknesses from them. So I'm high on Battalion. Big believer in the underdog story. Gotta love it.
Underdog story indeed. Battalion, you had rated 5th, Thug, just ahead of the unanimous number 6 team, but we'll get to that in just a second here. Tell us about why you had Battalion in 5th.
Yeah, I think they're placed appropriately. Like they're not as good as Reckless. They're not as good as Devil Dukes. I think they're behind God Hand and it's like I feel like this is where they're appropriately listed. They're having a hell of a run, and Train made some very good points. It's definitely not the team from the beginning of the season. They figured themselves out. I mean, they literally had Vix on their team.
Yeah, I mean, any team with Vix, like, come on.
Come
Come
on!
on.
He's
Really?
just terrible. Terrible person, terrible player. He's bad, should feel
It's
bad.
just embarrassing. It's just,
really
at
bad.
this point, let the guy go. Okay?
Poor
I mean,
Vix.
really,
It's
just move on.
Poor Vix.
Anyway, I feel like they're
God.
placed where they should be. This is no slight to them. This is where they are. Sorry.
Wow.
But not sorry.
E colon. Oh my God. Here's my thing on Battalion. I actually had them rated 6th. And I get it. They haven't lost a match, but let's talk about who they're beating. They beat Council of Anime Girls, who only got in on a technicality.
True.
Literally
love
only
them, though.
qualified for playoffs on a technicality. They haven't won a match this season. Okay, they won one match in stage 1, and I don't even remember who it was against. I believe it was against a team who barely... No, they won a match in stage 2. No. And Growlu, probably their best player, was suspended for that game. Like... and they won, which, you got to beat the teams in front of you. I'll give them that. But let's temper the expectations. They basically beat Palm Beach Poggers here, like, in overall talent level. No offense.
How is this supposed to take
What?
that?
No one's
I'm just getting like
I'm teasing.
bored
Free
right
license to
now.
say
I'm
whatever
teasing,
I
I'm
want.
teasing. This is my soapbox now. This is where I get
I
to talk.
can't believe this.
Next round, they beat SS
Talk about how they
Cuttlefish.
beat Dirt. Talk about
No,
how they beat
hey,
Dirt.
train. I'll get to that. Don't worry, I'll get
Okay.
to that.
Okay.
They beat SS Cuttlefish, who barely fielded a team.
That's true.
That's true, actually.
Literally was about to fold, and we told them don't fold, and they were like, okay, we'll try not to. Then we get Dirt, and Dirt is by far the most inconsistent top team I have ever seen in my freaking life. Because, my God, Dirt, I love you, but what the hell? Like, you guys are the most inconsistent team I have ever seen sitting at the top of any tier. That's been the past 3 seasons, mind you. I don't know what the hell it is. But for some reason, there's just like, you go for one match where you look fantastic against a top-seeded team, and then you go against Battalion and absolutely shit the bed.
Yeah,
And
it's a weird shit.
Then let's go to your match against Corvidity. No offense against Corvidity. Love the weird shit they play, but they just play a bunch of weird shit. And if you have great communicators like Trippy, like Trippy, and like Trippy, it's going to result in you winning that game as long as you keep your head, which they did. To credit Battalion, they have beaten the teams in front of them. But to take away from Battalion, the teams in front of them all kind of sucked. Just saying.
God, Yeti's based at
I have. Also, they lost to Skybox.
This
Let's
is why
just-
Yeti's
let's
not
just
sleeping.
Hold up and be real here, y'all. They
Yeah, he
lost.
just said Dirt sucks on podcast. I feel like I'm in the Twilight
That's true.
Zone.
Yeah.
He just said he
Losing my
doesn't
mind.
like Dirt.
I don't
Does
like.
Wait,
not
what?
like Dirt?
He likes Dirt.
Hey, you know
The
what?
proof
George
is out.
Lopez
Please
and
clip
Poussey
that.
George Lopez and Poussey let me down again. So I'm just saying I
Oh,
don't like
man.
Dirt anymore.
Ooh.
Wow.
I'm
Yeah,
just saying.
Wow.
This is a lot of feelings.
No,
Truly unhinged.
I feel like I'm exposing people right now, and I'm honestly gonna be sad about it later. But like, here's the deal: Battalion lost to Skybox, and I love Skybox, but I don't love Skybox because of the way they play Overwatch. I love Skybox because they're really funny people. They lost to Skybox. Just saying, guys. You know what? And I am I'm overplaying it here. I'll certainly admit this just for fun and the funny sound clips and everything like that. Because truthfully, yeah, I know, right? Truthfully, I love Telm. Ever since he switched to main tank, that team has been way better. Frosty on the off tank has been very good. Like, they've looked a lot better. They really have. So despite me kind of ripping on them a little bit here, they truly do deserve to be in this in the championship bracket as the 6th best team. But as you guys rated, the 6th best team is Bird Society Ibis. Exu, why?
I'll be honest. I just had to look at the rest of the teams and realize that somebody had to take 6th spot. Somebody had to take 6th space out of all of these teams, and it just unfortunately had to be Bird Society. You've got teams like Godhand, Reckless Alpha, and Devil Dukes. I mean, those are obviously like they're all just better teams. I'm sorry to say, Bird Society. You guys took down Dirt, which I'm proud of you for. Even though Yeti was saying they're one of the most inconsistent teams, but somebody just had to go in 6th. So
That was my 5th and 6th. I'm like, somebody's just got to sit.
yes, somebody's got to go in these spots.
And last but certainly not least, your opinions, Bird Society Ibis Train.
Yeah, I agree completely with what Exu said. This team has slid under the radar the entire season, and I think it's because they don't really do anything noteworthy. I mean, this is a good team, right? They're top 6 for a reason. They had a strong regular season performance. I don't want to take that away from them. But in knockouts, they beat Atlas Arcadia and Dirt and then lost to Alpha. So like that's just a chalk performance, right? That's exactly what you would expect from a team of their seeding. And I need to see them beat a good team before I can put them anywhere other than 6th. I haven't seen like a really surprising or noteworthy performance out of BSI so far.
All right, Bird Society Ibis, I think again, I agree with everything that's been said. They're a good team, but look at who they're playing against now.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's so funny because I've said this all season. Trans tier is 4 amazing teams, and then like 7 teams who are all fighting to be at that level of the other 4 teams. It's been Decapitators, Godhand, Alpha, and Devil Dukes basically all season. And now, granted, Battalion has looked better. I'll give them that. But like everybody beyond those 4 teams just has been kind of competing for relevance. And BSI won that competition. So you have to give credit where credit's due. You got to give it where it is. So, and honestly, they had a hell of a win against Dirt. Like, a hell of a win against Dirt. So, certainly beat Dirt better than Battalion beat Dirt. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. All right, guys. Enough ripping on Battalion. I love Telm. He's wonderful. But we've ripped on a lot of teams today, but now we got to rip on a few more. Because, again, several teams have left us. We're going to be coming back with some predictions and some announcements in just a moment. But here is part 2 of In Memoriam. Yep.
Oh, that's good.
Yep. All right.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Yep, indeed. There we go. Can we get some yeps in chat? I think there's
Yep.
at least 10 or 12 yeps for that one. All right, guys. Thank you again so much for tuning in today. We're gonna really quick round through some predictions. These guys had written up some predictions. Let's basically bury through the scores super quick. Save your analysis for people who care.
Basically, Bury.
Basically, I'm tired.
You had Culver's, I know.
I had Culver's tonight. They had a fundraiser. It was for a kid's school, so I ate a lot of shit, and I am full of dairy food. I am full of dairy. Chrysalis taking on Sky Guardians this week. Predicting Tranquility really has fallen if this is what it's become. Chrysalis versus Sky Guardians. Train, start us off.
I'm going Chrysalis 4 over Sky Guardians. Yeah, I think I said everything I have to say about this in our rankings. Nothing to add, really.
Beth, your thoughts.
Chrysalis 4-1.
Thug, where are you at with this one?
4-1 Chrysalis.
Exu?
4-1 Chrysalis following suit. Yeah.
4-2 Chrysalis. Milo hits a
okay.
clutch pulse
Milo
bomb.
and Ooh. Yeah.
It's
Maybe.
Milo hits one
plus
clutch pulse
three
bomb
times.
in the best of 7 match. They get a second map because of it. Frost Nova taking on Luminous Foxes. Train, who do you got?
Frost Nova 4-2. Frost Nova rejoice. You're finally believed in.
Finally, we believe in Frost Nova. I'm sorry, Beth.
Continuing to copy the homework. Frost Nova 4-2.
Thug, do you copy the homework?
I copied it, but made it a little bit different. 4-3 Luminous Foxes, because I want to kind of see.
Ooh. It's different.
4-3 Luminous Foxes. Exu, your thoughts here.
After seeing Frost Nova take down Sky Guardians and the Miami Yikes, Frost Nova went 4-1. Yeah.
This will be the best match of this stage. I wrote down 4-2. I'm going actually 4-3 Luminous Foxes. Echo Fleet versus Paradise Lost in the Discord tier. Train, where are we at with this one?
Paradise Lost 4-1. No doubt in my mind.
No doubt in his mind. Sorry, Beth, go ahead.
I did Paradise Lost 4-2 on this one.
Thug.
4-1 Paradise Lost.
Exu.
4-1. Copying the homework.
Yeah, me too. 4-1 Paradise Lost. Yeah. Mark III versus Domination here. Train, who do you got?
No, I think this one will be the best match, but Domination 4-2 over Mark III.
Beth, who do you got?
Also think it'll be the best match, but I got Mark III 4-2-1.
Oh, the tie. Thug, who do you got?
I think this is going to be one of the best matches, not the best. Change it a little bit. 4-2 Mark III. I think Domination's going down.
Exu.
So you know how I said earlier, I think Mark III might beat Reminiscence. That was a complete lie. I am a Domination fanboy. Domination 4-0.
4-0.
4-0.
Man.
I'm casting this match on Thursday, and it's going to be so I shouldn't predict it, but I'm going to 4-2 Mark III on the shoulders of one Mr. T.A. Racton or T.O. Racton for
Tough Acton
Tough Acton Terracton, putting the team on his shoulders and hammering his way through through Domination. I got Mark III 4-2 there. Transcendence tier. By the way, that is a Thursday feature this week, Mark III versus Domination, so be sure to tune in for that. Godhand taking on Bird Society Ibis. Train, where you at with this one?
I got 4-1 GDH.
Beth.
4-1 GDH.
Thug.
4-1 GDH.
Exu.
4-2 GDH.
I also said 4-2 GDH. BSI, you had a good run. Really, really good run. Really. Finally, our Wednesday feature this week, Decapitators taking on Battalion. Train.
Yeti, I'm sorry. I have to go 4-3 Battalion.
Hey, you don't have to apologize to me. You just have to apologize by eating your words later. Beth.
We'll see.
Beth, who do you got?
I'm neither going to apologize nor eat my words. I've got 4-2 Battalion.
Thug, who do you got?
I have 4-2 decaps because y'all are stupid.
Exu, who do you got?
not gonna be calling me stupid when Battalion win 4-3.
I am gonna call you stupid when Decapitators win 4-1 in the Wednesday feature match. Guys, we got a banger of a slate of matches again this week. Right now, unfortunately, no Tuesday feature. We're getting down to the end, and sometimes matches just don't end up being flexed. Wednesday night, we have the feature match between Decapitators and Battalion, and Thursday, we have Mark III taking on Domination. For those of you who did not see, we did make a small schedule change for next week. Next week is American Thanksgiving week, as you guys all know. And for us who are lucky enough to live in the land of the free and the home of the COVID, it is American Thanksgiving. And, well, quite frankly, a lot of us are going to be quite busy. So because of that, we have extended the week a week, basically. So next week is effectively going to be an off week for Tranquility. So that said, we're going to have a little fun. That's right. As a way of us just to say thank you to you guys for being a part of Tranquility this season, next week, Monday, instead of the Iris podcast, join us for the Tranquility Community Crab Games. That's right. We will be playing crab games with members of the Tranquility Community on stream on Monday, 8:30 Eastern time. That will be a public thing. We'll be posting the code in the Trank Discord. It's gonna be first come first serve when it goes out. So
We in this bitch.
you might want to get here. Trank staff members will be there. We're all gonna have fun and just have a good time. And again, this is our way of saying thank you to you guys for really what has truthfully been an absolutely fantastic season. So,
Truly has.
it really has. Like we joke a lot about how busy we are, and we are busy, but that doesn't mean this season hasn't been kind of a pleasure to do in a lot of ways compared to prior seasons. So thank you guys for that, and we're gonna have some fun. I'm looking forward to Monday. It's gonna be a really good time, and make sure to tune in on the stream because channel points are going to be live, and there's gonna be a lot of good things to be earned in giveaways. We're actually going to be rolling over. I think NPC is away, unfortunately, and he's the guy who usually does our drawings. Yeah, he's away. So we're going to be rolling over our drawing for a T-shirt this week into next week, and we'll do that during
Double T-shirt during Crab Game?
We're doing that during Crab Game. Double T-shirt during Crab Game.
What?
Yeah, I know. But then,
Holy.
but it gets better, guys. It gets better. Every week during the championship bracket, we will be giving away a $100 Amazon gift card.
Shut the front door.
So
They're real.
they are real.
They're real.
Oh
They
my
are
God.
real. They are real Amazon dollars that Jeff Bezos himself will hand deliver to your door.
Okay, well, will he?
No, but
Yes.
well, Cav will
Yes.
You can
send
neither
you a
confirm nor deny.
Cav will
They'll
send you a
personally deliver
lovely
them
email.
directly to your email. That's great.
So
That's pretty cool.
starting here in the championship bracket, guys, $100 Amazon gift cards. You're gonna want to tune in and get those channel points because it's gonna be worth it. So tune in. That's real money that you can spend on real things during that holiday people celebrate in December. All right. Guys, that's about all we have for you this week here. Again, reminder, no giveaway this week. We'll be rolling that into next week's Squid Game. It's going to be fun. But thanks so much.
You're going to be fun.
Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. We appreciate you being here. For Exu, for Thug, Beth, and Train, I am Mr. Yeti. We appreciate you gazing into the iris with us tonight, and we'll see you again real soon.
Experience tranquility. Pass into the iris.